بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Dear students, in the previous two lessons, we discussed about the Indus Valley civilization very briefly. These people came from Central Asia for various reasons. The first race to come were Aryans. For a quick revision, let's see some features of this great civilization. About 4,500 years ago, it was a mysterious and very civilized state in the Indus Valley. It stretched over almost all of what is now Pakistan, and eastwards to Delhi. The remains of two great cities, Mohenjo-Daro and Harappa, as well as hundreds of villages, have been discovered. We discussed the main features of the Indus Valley civilization: planned towns, construction, sewerage system, the huge central bath, granaries, but no palaces. The important buildings, possibly an assembly hall, were built on raised ground. Some form of writing has been discovered on the clay seal tablets, but it has not been deciphered. Dear students, today we will discuss various aspects of art and craft of Indus Valley people. The arts of the Indus Valley civilization emerged during the second half of the 3rd millennium BCE. The forms of art found from various sites of the civilization include sculptures, seals, pottery, jewelry, terracotta figures, etc. The artists of that time surely had fine artistic sensibilities, and a brilliant imagination. Dear students, the Indus Valley civilization was an ancient civilization located in what is Pakistan and northwest India today, on the fertile floodplain of the Indus River and its neighborhood. Dear students, statues whether in stone, bronze, or terracotta found in Harappan sites are not abundant, but refined. The stone statuaries found at Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro are excellent examples of handling three-dimensional volumes. In stone are two male figures. One is a upper body in red sandstone and the other is a bust of a bearded man in soapstone, which are extensively discussed. The figure of the bearded man, interpreted as a priest, is dressed in a shawl, coming under the right arm and covering the left shoulder. This shawl is decorated with trefoil patterns. The eyes are a little elongated, and half closed as in meditative concentration. The nose is well formed and of medium size, the mouth is of average size with close-cut mustache and a short beard and whiskers, the ears resemble double shells with a hole in the middle. An armlet is worn on the right hand and holes around the neck suggest a necklace. Dear students, the art of bronze casting was practiced on a wide scale by the Harappans. Their bronze statues were made using the lost wax technique, in which the wax figures were first covered with a coating of clay and allowed to dry. Then the wax was heated and the molten wax was drained out through a tiny hole made in the clay cover. The hollow mold thus created was filled with molten metal, which took the original shape of the object. Once the metal cooled, the clay cover was completely removed. In bronze we find human as well as animal figures, the best example of the former being the statue of a girl, popularly dancing girl. Amongst animal figures in bronze, the buffalo with its uplifted head, back and sweeping horns and the goat, are of artistic merit. Bronze casting was popular at all the major centers of the Indus Valley civilization. The copper dog and bird of Lithal and the bronze figure of a bull from Kalibangan are in no way inferior to the human figures of copper and bronze from Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro. Metal casting appears to be a continuous tradition. The late Harappan and Chalcolithic sites like Diamabad in Maharashtra yielded excellent examples of metal cast sculptures. They mainly consist of human and animal figures. It shows how the tradition of figure sculpture continued down the ages. Dear students, the Indus Valley people made terracotta images also, but compared to the stone and bronze statues, the terracotta representations of human form are crude in the Indus Valley. They are more realistic in Gujarat sites and Kalibangan. The most important among the Indus figures are those representing the mother goddess. In terracotta, we also find a few figurines of bearded males with twisted hair, their posture rigidly upright, legs slightly apart, and the arms parallel to the sides of the body. The repetition of this figure in exactly the same position would suggest that he was a deity. A terracotta mask of a horned deity has also been found. Toy carts with wheels, whistles, rattles, birds and animals, gamesmen, and discs were also rendered in terracotta. Dear students, archaeologists have discovered thousands of seals, mostly made of steatite, and occasionally of agate, chert, copper, faience, and terracotta, with beautiful figures of animals, such as unicorn bull, rhinoceros, tiger, elephant, bison, goat, buffalo, etc. The realistic rendering of these animals in various moods is remarkable. The purpose of producing seals was mainly commercial. It appears that the seals were also used as amulets, carried on the persons of their owners, perhaps as modern-day identity cards. The standard Harappan seal was a square plaque 2 by 2 square inches, made from steatite. Every seal is engraved in a pictographic script which is yet to be deciphered. Some seals have also been found in ivory. They all bear a great variety of themes, most often of animals including those of the bull, with or without the hump, the elephant, tiger, goat, and also monsters. Sometimes trees or human figures were also depicted. The most remarkable seal is the one depicted with a figure in the center and animals around. This seal is generally identified as Lord of the all animals, whereas some identify it as the female deity. An elephant and a tiger are depicted to the right side of the seated figure, while on the left a rhinoceros and a buffalo are seen. Square or rectangular copper tablets, with an animal or a human figure on one side and an inscription on the other, or an inscription on both sides have also been found. Unlike inscriptions on seals which vary in each case, inscriptions on the copper tablets seem to be associated with the animals portrayed on them. Dear students, a large quantity of pottery excavated from the sites enable us to understand the gradual evolution of various design themes as employed in different shapes and styles. The Indus Valley pottery consists chiefly of very fine wheel-made wares, very few being handmade. Plain pottery is more common than painted ware. Plain pottery is generally of red clay, with or without a fine red or gray slip. It includes knobbed ware, ornamented with rows of knobs. The black painted ware has a fine coating of red slip on which geometric and animal designs are executed in glossy black paint. Polychrome pottery is rare and mainly comprises small vases decorated with geometric patterns, in red, black, and green, rarely, white and yellow. Perforated pottery includes a large hole at the bottom and small holes all over the wall, and was probably used for straining beverages. Pottery for household purposes is found in as many shapes and sizes as could be conceived of for daily practical use. Miniature vessels, mostly less than half an inch in height are, particularly, so marvelously crafted as to evoke admiration. Dear students, the Harappan men and women decorated themselves with a large variety of ornaments, produced from every conceivable material, ranging from precious metals and gemstones to bone and baked clay. While necklaces, fillets, armlets and finger rings were commonly worn by both men and women. Hoards of jewelry found at Mohenjo-daro and Lithal include necklaces of gold and semi-precious stones, copper bracelets and beads, gold earrings and head ornaments, faience pendants and buttons, and beads of steatite and gemstones. All ornaments are well crafted. It may be noted that a cemetery has been found at Farmana in Haryana where dead bodies were buried with ornaments. The bead industry seems to have been well developed as evident from the factories discovered at Shanhudaro and Lithal. The beads are in varying shapes: disc-shaped, cylindrical, spherical, barrel-shaped, and segmented. Some were decorated by incising or painting and some had designs etched onto them. Great technical skill has been displayed in the manufacture of these beads. The Harappan people also made brilliantly naturalistic models of animals, especially monkeys and squirrels, used as pinheads and beads. It is evident from the discovery that spinning of cotton and wool was very common. Men and women wore two separate pieces of dress similar to the dhoti and shawl. The shawl covered the left shoulder passing below the right shoulder. From archaeological finds, it appears that the people of the Indus Valley were conscious of fashion. The artists and craftsmen of the Indus Valley were extremely skilled in a variety of crafts: metal casting, stone carving, making and painting pottery, and making terracotta images, using simplified motifs of animals, plants, and birds. Dear students, today's lecture was very interesting, as it was very new for you, that the present-day Pakistan had a very rich art and craft in ancient times. We explored more about the various aspects of Indus people art, from different sites ranging from stone statues to beads and jewelry work. In the next lecture, we will come up with more information about these 4,500 years old civilized people. Dear students, I hope you have enjoyed the ancient history of Indus people. Please, watch the video carefully and read the pages of the textbook, before you do your homework and worksheet. Dear students, feel free to ask any question. Your subject teachers are always there, to guide you in your studies. Have a nice day. Allah Hafiz.